Welcome to another episode of ShePrints Africa, empowered by Printing SA and the Women in Print 2025 event and function. Today, we're diving into the future of printing and the manufacturing industry through the lens of two powerhouse women shaping it every single day. First, we're joined by Ayanda Shabangu, a seasoned HR and skills development professional with over 15 years of experience, currently leading the people strategy at Bidvest Paperplus. Alongside her, we have Heilet Grobler, a dynamic leader and advocate for women in technical industries. With a firm belief in collaboration, Heilet is driving excellence across sectors by bridging gaps between people, purpose, and performance. Ladies, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you. Thank you.
Awesome. Let's get right into it. Can you tell me a little bit about yourselves, a little bit of background on where you're from and how you got to where you are? Heilet, we can begin with you.
Rivina, thank you so much for the opportunity. Yes, growing up in Botswana and in the rural areas of South Africa, for some reason amongst my brothers, I was always advocate the rights of women. So I think the passion to see women accelerate and performing started from a young age. I finished my school in Polokwane, and then I came to the University of Pretoria where I studied psychology. I didn't practice as a psychologist and went into sales and marketing where I felt it's more vibrant and I could use my psychology. At the age of 25, I started my own business. Initially in the communication industry, developing messages that went on paper and that was printed. From there, the company grew and we started buying our own printing equipment. Well, I'm proud to say that we were the first to bring in digital printing computer to plate at that time, the first in the Southern Hemisphere. So the story never ended there. We transformed with technology as printing transformed. And yes, today I'm still in my own business. I've got a partner, David Skosana, company called UVO Communications, Design and Print. And I've got this passion for what I'm doing. If I have to choose again what career I would do, I'm sure I would take it again.
Amazing. So, Ayanda, you said earlier that you championed 2,000 people at Bidvest Paperplus. What does that look like?
Well, the 2000 is national, right? As everybody knows, Bidvest is the powerhouse that it is. But we are lucky enough to have a powerhouse that is actually led by a female who has put in place measures to ensure that females rise within the organization and are given the opportunities to showcase what they are made of, to showcase their skills and abilities. I come from an industry where you had to, in fact, I come from a background where you had to find something that made you money. Our parents were, you get up, you go and work and you make money and that's that. And it was a choice between marketing and industrial psychology. And my mom said, there's too many people in marketing, you will do industrial psychology. And I was hit into industrial psychology. And as you when you're young and you look around and Coca-Cola and all these other big brands are the places that you want to go and work. So I ended up, funny enough, at TransUnion Credit Bureau. And from a credit bureau, left and went to live in Cape Town. And somehow a friend put me into Bidvest Paperplus. And I thought to myself, what could I possibly do in printing as an HR person? I mean, really, it's probably just blue collar and that's all you do. I was pleasantly surprised because I got into this industry and I realized the dynamics that were in this industry. I realized the the platform and the gaps that were there for females. But the more I got to know how diverse this industry is, the more excited I became, and the more I started championing and ensuring that more females got into printing, more females were exposed within the printing sector. When you look at the number of apprentices 10 years back versus where we are now, there's a vast difference.
Yes.
But I'm sure I'm jumping the gun a bit, but you almost get excited by how many different areas that are there for women within our industry that a lot of people don't even know about. And I guess that's why you and I are here, right? To actually showcase how big this industry is and how much bigger it can get.
Right. That is quite true. This industry is quite big. However, people don't know where to start, or women don't know where to start. Heilet, earlier on, you touched on how mentorship looks like. Can you delve into, if you were a mentor and you are a mentor, what advice or how do you groom a person that doesn't know where to start into the leader that you aren't and show them the way?
I would just go a little bit back. A lot of people just think print is print. Print on paper, and you must have this expensive machinery and large factory, and you print magazines and brochures and books.
Mm-hmm.
It is not. Printing SA specifically has broadened the horizons. We include the visual communications, signage, and then print. And then print is also not just on paper. Print is on materials. It's on plastics. On labels. I always say to the youngsters, you know what, if you sit at home and you create this beautiful pattern and you make a bag of you in the printing industry.
Oh, lovely.
So I want, first of all, the world out there to think larger than print. And if you're there, then you will start seeing the opportunities that is there. Now, coming back to mentorship, like we said earlier on, Printing SA was running a program about a year ago asking for mentorship, and it wasn't really successful because people still think mentorship is I must give 5 hours a day sitting with a person who doesn't know nothing and I must teach them. And we're all running businesses, and like Ayanda's saying, it's all about money at the end of the day. I'm not doing this because if it's just nice, it must make money for me. So coming back to the mentorship, I'm of opinion that mentorship is more important to take a person emotionally, make them realize there are opportunities and let them find the opportunities, or just show them maybe the direction and make them realize that they've got it in them. Days that they are down or that they don't know where to go, they can come to you and ask, or they can just do a phone call to you and say, I've got this challenge. How do I overcome it? And then opening through your channel of connections, opening opportunities either through training or through just to go work at a place and shadow and see what it's like and decide if you like it or not. To me, that is the more important part of the mentorship.
That approach is better.
Yeah.
That is quite true.
Yeah. And for the youngsters as well, especially the girls, we have to in Africa specifically, we discussed it earlier on. Ayanda, I said to Rena, we have to create our own jobs. If we look at South Africa specifically, and I'm sure it is in Africa all over, people qualify. They've got book knowledge, university degrees, and then they can't find jobs. So in my mentorship, I always tell them, listen, you don't have to have a paper and a degree to be successful in life. Look at the opportunities where you can start maybe your own business. But to start your own business, you often have to, like Ayanda was always also saying, you start working at a company. Get the mentorship
Experience.
from your leader or your boss. Be wide awake the whole time for opportunities. Maybe start your small business, a Saturday market, and selling printed water bottles with exquisite labels. and grew like that.
Mm. That is so creative because, as you're saying, that we have such a huge unemployment rate, but this is how people can see opportunities in their environment. You don't need a degree, but it can go a long way to get that degree so that you can also get that technical background as well as to get that experience. And together, you can create employment actually, and you can create hubs for other people to gain that experience with you.
Absolutely.
Ayanda, I wanted to touch on that part in terms of that experience and those technical skills, as well as any skills, even the emotional mentorship that that is required, that experience that is required, because there's only so much you can learn at a university. I know that I've had very, very good mentors in my life that really taught me way they taught me strategy, life strategy, school of life, rather than the technical skills, because I had those. Is that important, and is that presented in in your role, and how do you go about that?
I had one mentor who said to me, every single opening is an opportunity. Every single opening. So you cannot, just because I didn't get into a bank and I really wanted to get into a bank, but there's an opportunity at a printing industry. This is not what I wanted. It's an opportunity. It's an opportunity to explore. It's an opportunity to learn. It's an opportunity to gain a different skill. Um, you when you enter with that mindset, because everything starts with the right mindset. You could be the most educated, the cream of the crop, but if your mindset is incorrect, nothing really works for you. So when you get into an industry of printing and manufacturing, and you look around and you realize, oh my gosh, the serviette that I utilize, which has whatever logo written on it. How was this made? If I'm a financial person, how much money actually went into getting this right? So when you start thinking along those lines, how many people did it take to actually make this? As soon as that financial mentor that you're partnered with sits with you, your mind is already on second drive. I mean, you're on fifth gear before second gear even came. So I'm a firm believer in that opportunities start with your mindset. And once that mindset is right, once you get in there, you look at even more opportunities. How can I leverage my knowledge or what that I've gained in university into the practical world? And being told to go, for example, and work at reception within the printing industry, you have a lot of, I'm sure you've had learners.
Yes.
And you have learners that come in and the learners are told, you're going to work here, but for now, I need you to work at reception. That reception opportunity is not to be scoffed at, because that reception opportunity is actually teaching you every single person that's in the division and everything that they do. So when you get up from that chair and you're asked a question, you immediately can say, actually, the executive in this area is this person. They specialize in this. Their client is this. Maybe they are the person that I need to ask more information from. So I cannot stress more that you cannot come as a student or as a learner or even fresh out of high school and sit there and then sit on your phone, because everything is going to come past you. We have disabilities on our sides. We have individuals that are hard of hearing, and they're deaf. So they are literally running machines, and they're all female, by the way.
Wow.
So they did not allow their disability to hinder the opportunities that were right in front of them. They did not allow the fact that, I might not be able to, yes, we've made accommodation to ensure that they are safe, etc. But that disability was actually used to an advantage.
Ayanda, you mentioned something that I'm dumping.
Please go for it.
You mentioned something that I really want to touch. 30 years ago, printing was this heavy metal machine operations.
Yeah.
A lady couldn't do it. Apart from that, the role was not ladylike, but it asked a lot of physical work and almost dirty work. You work with doesn't maybe taking up you hard at that ink under your nails. And I want to tell the youth, printing has evolved. It's now so computerized, and a small little machine does the work that a machine did 30 years ago, which was like 30 meters long and 5 meters high. Now those machines are tiny little clean things, and it's computerized. So for a machine operator or a technical person, ladies has got the opportunity now to enter that because it is a lot computerized. And also what you mentioned in terms of disability, there's so many smaller shops opening now that the creativity, and that's something that us girls can bring to it. We've got a sense of a bit of feminine, a bit of creativity. There's this flair to it. And girls, I must use this. I mean, God has made us pretty. We are more pretty than men. Absolutely. And we must use that and take that creativity and flair, put it into the communication, put it into the design, put it into print. Whether it's a billboard, whether it is a piece of cloth that we're printing, whether it is a fancy annual report, we've got the edge. Us girls must use that.
Love it. We've got the edge. You heard it right. I know I do. Do you have the edge? That's an amazing slogan and tagline. So you have literally answered the conversations or the questions that I wanted to jump in. And I love it because it's really a discussion about what the printing sector looks like and what are the opportunities. And I loved that sentiment that you said that, you're fresh out of high school, you're fresh out of university as a young woman, and don't be afraid to start from the bottom, number one. And number two, don't be afraid to do the dirty work if it is required. But in this time and age, we've got innovations, we've got functional innovations that don't necessarily require us or machine operators to be so cringy and grungy anymore. It is computerized. And thirdly, add that flair. So that is a summary of what we have discussed in terms of what the printing industry looks like, especially for women, right? In your opinion, Ms. Heilet, in your opinion, when we redefine print, how can young women best prepare themselves in an industry that blends business strategy, tech, and creativity? You did touch on that, but how does a young woman then prepare themselves to do that?
I think firstly you must realize as an individual that you've got the love for it. And that love is combined with the ability to communicate and to be creative and hard work. Now, to prepare yourself, I would say definitely, yes, you need some skills. Whether it is now a course, and I want to invite everyone listening to this program to go visit the website of Printing SA.
Yes, and see the opportunities.
There's some lovely courses, and if that is not ringing your bell, call them and ask them, because us printers also have got a portal where we can say we've got this position open.
Yes.
And we're looking for a person. And if I'm not mistaken, you can also load your CV.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can.
Yes. So I would like you to say, as an entry point, go there. I'm a strong believer of starting to work in the industry, like Ayanda was saying, even if you start as a receptionist, sometimes you gain and you learn faster and more than what a university degree would bring.
Yeah.
So if there's that kind of specific word for that, Ayanda, when you do in-house training, or what is the famous
job training?
So I always want to say, look for that kind of opportunities and go shadow. It's very important to shadow. You will get the gist of the industry. it is an industry that is very demanding. It's an industry that has not got regular office hours. But if you're dreaming for success, then I think the hours won't bother you.
I agree. Take up the opportunities. Ask about learnerships. Ask about internship. Ask about the different technical. And you're correct. Starting with printing essay and saying, look, I'm not sure what I want to do, but this is what I'm good at. They could direct you into so many different areas, into so many different industries, because as members of the industry, there's actually quite a lot of us. Yes, there's a lot of similarities, but there's also quite a lot of differences. I'll give you an example. We are all in a place where we're looking for salespeople, right? We are hungry for youngsters that want to make an opportunity, that want to make money, that can make money out of the industry through sales, but must be passionate enough to actually go out there and look. The training, the opportunity, the people are there. But if you don't reach out, if you don't ask, if you don't take the opportunity, it's not going to happen. And regardless of where you're at, you spoke about women getting into the industry. And we spoke about how pretty women are. Let's start with the dress that you wear every day. How did that dress come into play? It started with a design. Who designed that? Some little girl or young man that's sitting there. But to get that thought into that material takes our industry. So find out, how do I go that channel to get that done? And printing essay is definitely your first bet. And from there, they'll be able to channel you. They'll be able to say, you're interested in digital. Well, you might best go this direction. You're interested in sales, as Ayanda mentioned on the radio. Well, every single one of these places are looking. How far are you? How close are you? And we try and ensure that we make it in such a way that these youngsters that come for learnerships don't have to travel very long distances. We all exist nationally. So in that instance, if you're sitting in a little town in the Eastern Cape, they are printing sectors and printing companies, Eastern Cape, Western Cape, Karoo for that matter.
Yeah.
It's just a question of how hungry are you and how much are you prepared to actually reach out.
And the training courses are mostly online now.
It's online, so there's no excuse.
I'm having a little giggle here to myself. When I started, I started in sales. I really started in sales, and I remember the first week. It was lunchtime. I went home, and I lied on my bed, and I cried. And I thought, I'm going to tell my daddy, because my dad said to me, I'm the most expensive hawk, because I studied psychology, and then I became a salesperson. I said, I will show him. And I got up, and I prayed to God, and I said, give me the strength. And I never looked back. And from sales, I've learned all the divisions in print.
For sure.
From design, editing, journalism, today, nowadays, I'm doing all of that myself. Running a printing factory, technically knowing just enough to upset a lot of instructors, because I ask the right questions, but I not always have the clear answers. But sales was my roots. So from there, and it's sometimes, like you say, there's a gap in the market for entering girls, because nowadays people don't like doing sales. But yeah, it's easy, man. It's easier than in our days. Nowadays, we had to knock on doors. Now you can use artificial intelligence. You can use mail. You can use a beautiful WhatsApp clip and saying, I'm Heilet, I'm coming to see you. There's so many creative ways of doing sales now within the printing industry. So maybe girls consider that. If you can't get in technically, get in sales.
Oh, stunning, stunning. There are so many opportunities, there's so many opportunities, as you said. If you're not so much technical and you're like me and you like to talk, I know that my first job was in sales as well. I sold advertising space on this platform, actually. Sales has also been such a big role in being able to communicate what it is that you do, and to the right people. So that is such great advice. And that's actually the question that I was going to ask next, which was our last question, to say, what advice would you give to um, a lady trying to get into print, as well as what do you see, where do you see printing in 2030, in the next 5 to 10 years?
You, you know, the beauty about print is that there's no age.
Yes.
You are never, as long as you're over 18 legally and you can work, there's no age. There's no limitation until retirement. So between that period, you literally can get into the printing sector and do almost anything within the sector. So your first step, as we've mentioned, is inquire. Your next step is, if you have to learn, go learn it. The next step is, if you have to ask, ask. Because there's nothing worse than sitting and wondering what if. Ask. Get that knowledge, get that exposure, pick up the phone and say, Ayanda, I used to do this and I now want to actually find out about HR. Can I spend the time with you? Ayanda will say yes between this time and this time. But the fact is, asking and making your way through this mud will actually get you that diamond at the end of the day. So the printing sector is open. We're an industry that's growing. I know everybody says printing is dying. Please. So we're evolving. It's not dying. We're evolving. We're finding new ways. I mean, you've been to a restaurant lately. You scan to see the menu, right? That scanning process is part of the industry itself. You buy anything at any mall, or you still need a slip, whether it's digital or it's online. You still need some sort of communication. You can't buy medication without seeing what the box is all about, what the labeling is all about, what the information on that carton is all about. So this market is ever changing. The industry is ever changing. Printing is abled. The industry is very abled. Whatever you believe you can do, you can.
Whatever you believe you can do, you can, and you've got the edge.
Now, right, that part that Ayanda said, it has got no age. So there's still another 30 years for me to go. Ayanda, you're 100% right. And I want to emphasize, go shadow. Go shadow. Because sometimes just through being there, the people might see your energy and your potential. They might not even have a position, but they will create a position for you. So go shadow. Take your holidays, take your weekends, and go shadow. See if you like it. And if you like it, you will create, or you will develop a passion for it. And then you will start seeing the opportunities because you like it. It's like I said to my child, she was telling me, Mama, you must get new fashion gym clothes. Yell. And then all of a sudden I see all my old clothes and I just see this beautiful gymming clothes. And that is what opportunities are. If you show interest in it, then it pops up. It pops up to you. And for the youngsters, I want to say, you know what? Don't give up on your dreams. I know it's difficult out there, but smart people print. Don't tell them it's dying. And go look at your high-profile companies. They will deliver nowadays a parcel through door to door, a box with a beautiful brochure that's got gold foiling in, and it says, Dear Heilet. These different ways of marketing stuff. So print is smart. Be smart.
Be smart. There you have it. These two powerhouses gave us really solid advice that could live forever, just like printing. As we continue to build pathways for women in print and communication, may Ayanda's and Heilet's journeys continue to inspire you, and stay inspired, stay informed, and let's keep printing the future together. Thank you so much, ladies, for your insights. Thank you so much for your advice that you have given these ladies. I truly appreciate you taking the time to inspire young women, and I can't wait for them to join Women in Print 2025. I know it's next week on the 8th of August. Will I be seeing you there?
Oh, for sure.
Absolutely.
Sure.
So they will be with me at Women in Print, and you can get to meet them. You can get to talk to them, get even more inspired and ask the questions that you need to ask. As Ayanda said, inquire about the things that you would like to pursue in your life and stay informed. Thank you so much, ladies, yet again.